Senator from Georgia.
Mr. President, I want to commend this distinguished senator from Maine. She has articulately explained why we need to move forward. But I want to underscore something that she said. For 6 years now, the United States Senate has abdicated its responsibility to appropriate. We have left the prioritization of spending to faceless bureaucrats in faceless buildings in Washington, D.C. The needs of our veterans and our soldiers in our country have gone unneeded, while we in here have argued about things that were superfluous and actually impossible. I came into this chamber today and listened to the distinguished senator from Nevada, the minority leader, make the following statement, and I quote, "He can't understand why the leader would bring forward a can't-pass piece of legislation and not go to something more important." I want the senator from Nevada to go out to Walter Reed Hospital, or go to the Claremont Hospital in Atlanta, or the hospital in Maine, or the hospital in Arkansas, and tell those soldiers who sacrificed and risked their lives for us that their needs of health care are not more important. Or to tell Jim Webb, who was a member of this Senate who passed the GI Bill expansion a few years ago, that the educational benefits for dependents and children and wives and others are not that important. Or to tell the people of the United States of America that those who've protected us, those who've sacrificed, those who've risked, are not more important. There is nothing more important than our veterans and our military. There's nothing more important in our constitutional responsibility as senators than to appropriate the money of the American people. We are abdicating our responsibility. It is professional and political malpractice, and it's time it stopped. I get sick and tired of the political bantering back and forth when things come before us that must be done. As chairman of the VA committee, last Thursday night in this Senate, we passed unanimously, and it's now passed the House, a total reform of VA construction, and we fixed the Denver hospital problem that's been going on for 6 years in the VA. The Denver hospital has had a 428.3% cost overrun. That is unconscionable and that is wrong, but we finally are fixing it. And with this bill, if the distinguished minority leader will let us take up this important bill rather than something that's not as important, we're going to fix VA construction forever, because what this does is says the VA no longer is in charge of construction of hospitals and clinics. The Corps of Engineers is. It's about time we had construction management by people who know what they're doing. Doctors are good at fixing people, but they're not very good at bricks and mortar. We need the bricks and mortar people doing that. Secondly, this bill brings about mandatory funding and funds mandatory veterans benefits through 2017. You know, we had a threat of a government shutdown yesterday. Fortunately, we avoided it, but we've had it in the past, and we could have it again. Veterans' health care should never be shut down, and we need to continue to forward fund medical benefits. So our veterans know that whether or not we're foolish and shut down the government, their health care is going to be met. And let me tell you this, Mr. President. You know, in your great state, in the Dakotas, the senator from Arkansas knows, Senator Collins knows from Maine, the biggest complaint we get is about the lack of timely responsibility in determining disability claims in the VA, right? We have veterans waiting 478 days to get a disability claim on an injury they suffered fighting a war for us. 478 days is over almost 2 years. That's terribly wrong. This bill fixes that. It provides the money for the personnel necessary to expedite disability claims so veterans get a timely judgment. Now you tell me, Senator from Nevada, what's more important? Taking care of these guys who've taken care of us, or just debating on the Senate floor a bunch of hot air that means no difference to the American people? It is time we fished and cut bait. It's time we did what we were elected to do. It's time we set the priorities, and it's time we honored our commitment to those who've honored their commitment to us, the veterans of the United States of America. So as chairman of the most bipartisan committee in the United States Senate, the Veterans Affairs Committee, which the ranking member, or the presiding officer, is a member of that committee, we don't have Democratic spats and Republican spats. We talk about our veterans. Most everything we pass out is unanimous. We do so because we all agree that Republican or Democrat, black or white, rich or poor, whatever the case might be, we would not be where we are today, nor would we be what we are today, if it weren't for those who sacrificed, risked their lives, and in some cases died for the people of the United States of America while serving in the military. So I don't know what the senator of Nevada thinks is more important, but for me, these guys right here are the most important thing in the world. And to vote against proceeding to debate this important appropriation bill is professional malpractice and wrong. I hope my colleagues on both sides of the aisle will make a commitment to those who served us and vote to proceed on the VA Milcon appropriation bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.